What's up, NBA fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Explicit NBA podcast. I am your host, PT, and this is, of course, brought to you by thewinningtake.com. Now, last podcast, we covered a ton of trades, a ton of signings. We have some for this podcast, but nothing crazy. There's still a few free agents out there that have not been picked up, including Derrick Rose, Rajon Rondo. I can't think of anybody else at the moment, but let's cover who has been picked up. Now, Jamal Crawford was, of course, traded to the Hawks by the Clippers in the trade for Danilo Gallinari, and the Hawks bought out Jamal Crawford's contract, meaning he's not going to be a Hawk. Now, who signed him shortly after that? Well, none other than the Timberwolves. Yeah, the Timberwolves have been killing it this free agency with the additions of Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, Jeff Teague, just to name a few. Maybe that's all he picked up. I don't know, but they lost a few people. But honestly, they've picked up two All-Stars and a former three-time Sixth Man of the Year. Now, I think the Timberwolves are doing pretty good. Now, Jamal Crawford is crucial for the Timberwolves because he will be coming off of their bench. And really, they need more scorers and more good players off of their bench. Yes, their starting lineup is great, but their depth is not. It is a very young roster, and I think Jamal will bring some much-needed veteran leadership to the bench and to the team as a whole. Moving on, the Wizards indeed matched the Nets' offer for Otto Porter. Yeah, $104 million for a 4-year contract for Otto Porter. That's what was offered by the Nets. The Wizards waited until the last possible second and boom, matched it. Moving on from there, the Nets signed DeMarre Carroll. Actually, what was it? It was a trade. It wasn't even a signing. Okay, so the trade was a 2018 first-round pick. Let's see. A 2018 second-round pick and DeMarre Carroll for Justin Hamilton. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Raptors really lost on this trade, but apparently this was a smart move because they're saving money by letting go of Carroll. The thing that doesn't make sense is they let go of 2 draft picks along with him. So the Nets totally kicked ass on that trade. Moving on from there, the Raptors also got CJ Miles. Yeah, so this is interesting. They traded Corey Joseph to the Pacers, and they got CJ Miles in return. Now, Miles is good. He's a good small forward. He averaged almost 11 points per game last season in 76 games, and he's probably going to replace DeMarre Carroll as the starting small forward for the Raptors. I think the Raptors made up for that DeMarre Carroll move by picking up Miles, but the draft picks still don't make sense. After that, the Celtics signed possibly the ugliest bastard in the NBA, Aaron Baines, from the Pistons. Yeah, so the Celtics lost their backup center, or forward, whatever he is, Kelly Olynyk, she, whatever. And they picked up this dude. Now, God, I'm just looking at this dude's picture right now. He is very ugly. Once you see him, you'll know who he is. But I mean, he's a good aggressive backup center. I wish he would do something with his hair, but hopefully he does some good stuff on the court with the Celtics. You know, they already got Hayward, so what else could they ask for? I mean, boom, there you have it. They got Aaron Baines. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the Celtics also lost Avery Bradley, I believe. Yeah, let me fact check that real quick. But like I said, the Celtics picked up Gordon Hayward, and that is possibly the best move of the summer offseason. The Pistons got Avery Bradley. Yeah, so I don't know. He's sure as hell better than Aaron Baines, but I think this is another case of a guy that the Celtics didn't want to pay. They already have depth. They already have good players. I mean, they're gonna miss Avery Bradley, but with Gordon Hayward on the team, they're not gonna miss him that much. moving right along. Let's see. A bunch of re-signings happened. Alan Williams re-signed with the Suns. Reggie Bullock re-signed with the Pistons. Anthony Tolliver, if you remember him from last year playing for the Kings, he's a power forward. He signed with the Pistons as well. So the Pistons picked up Bradley and Tolliver. I mean, maybe these guys can do something with Drummond. Maybe the Pistons can compete once again next year. One good signing that happened the other day was Dwayne Dedmon with the Hawks. Yeah, Dedmon played with the Spurs, and he was good. He was really good. He's a big dude. He grabbed nearly 7 boards per game off the bench last year, and he played a lot more minutes whenever Powell was injured. But the Spurs didn't see the need to re-sign him, so what the Hawks do, they signed him to a 2-year, $14 million contract. He's 27 years old, and he's looking to help the Hawks as they recently lost Paul Millsap. Yeah, they need a rebounder, so that's where Dedmon slips right in there. Now, another big signing after that comes from the Lakers. Yeah, you probably know it, KCP. I guess that's what people are calling him. It stands for Kentavious Caldwell Pope. He played for the Pistons last year. He was dang good. He's a shooting guard. He's just 24 years old, and he averaged basically 14 points per game for Detroit. Yeah, he's a good scorer, and I know the Pistons will miss him, but I know the Lakers will appreciate him. Now, this is another sign that perhaps the Lakers will be shooting for 8th or 7th seed in the playoffs next year. They got Lonzo Ball. They unfortunately lost D'Angelo Russell, but they did get Lonzo Ball. We'll talk more about him later. They picked up Brook Lopez, and am I forgetting anybody there? Lonzo, Brook Lopez? I don't think so. But yeah, now they got KCP. I think the Lakers will be looking to compete definitely next year. After that, Thabo Sefolosha goes to the Jazz. Yeah, the former Atlanta Hawk signed a 2-year, $10.5 million contract. He's 33 years old, but was the 13th overall pick way back 11 years ago in 2006. He's decent. 7 points, 4 rebounds a game. I think the Jazz are. Maybe he'll start for them. I'm not sure. I don't know what the Jazz are gonna do. I think they're attempting to fill in the gaps that were created whenever Hayward and George Hill left this offseason. So good luck to the Jazz, just like we said in the last podcast. After this, the Jazz also signed Jonas Jerebko, from the Celtics, the power forward, who is a stretch power forward. He's not bad. He can shoot the 3. He didn't do too much for the Celtics last year. They had him on minimal minutes, and I think he will be getting more minutes for the Jazz. Just a 2-year, $8.2 million contract. Nothing crazy. 30 years old. Should once again look to fill in the gaps that Hayward and Hill left whenever they left the Jazz. Now, the guy that Jonas Jerebko is replacing is Boris Diaw. Yeah, it looks like the Jazz are waiving him. That is the rumor. I think a lot of teams would love to have Diaw on their team. That was worded terribly, but honestly, a lot of rosters are in need of a veteran power forward like Diaw. He's 35 years old, but he plays like he's 30. Honestly, if you watched him in the playoffs against the Clippers, or if you watched him anytime last season with the Jazz, he played great. And yeah, I know a lot of teams would like to have him on their roster. So hopefully he won't retire yet. He had a great run with the Spurs, and hopefully he has a decent future ahead of him. Very short future, but hopefully a decent one. Okay, that is basically all the signings, unless something's breaking now. This podcast will be released in a day or so, most likely. Maybe even tonight. That'd be great. Also, I just wanted to do this quick plug. All of these signings were brought to you by NBA Rumor on Instagram. That is at NBA Rumor. This guy is covering basically everything that happens in free agency, and he's killing it. He's very useful from when I record this podcast, so thank you to him. I will be DMing him and letting him know about this. So moving right along to the Summer League. The other night, the Lakers played the 76ers, And unfortunately, Markelle Fultz, the number 1 draft pick, did not play. Yeah, he twisted his ankle. I think it's classified as a sprain. So luckily nothing crazy. The 76ers are, of course, or they have been plagued with injury, from Joel Embiid to Ben Simmons to now Markelle Fultz. So I really hope that he's going to be okay. He didn't play against the Lakers, but let me tell you who did play. The number 2 draft pick, Lonzo Ball. Yeah, after having a terrible NBA debut, he went off in possibly the best performance of the Summer League so far. 36 points on 12 of 22 shooting, including 3 of 10 from 3. He's not the best three-point shooter, but let me tell you what else he did. 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Yeah, this dude's court vision is great, and he also racked up 5 steals and 2 blocks with that stat line. Man, I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm not a Lonzo hater. And Lakers fans may be obnoxious at times, but their team, except for maybe Brandon Ingram, their team is pretty, has a lot of potential, and Lonzo definitely has the most potential. I'm not even basing this off of one game. If you look at what he did in college, look at why he was the number 2 prospect, he has the potential to be a triple-double machine. Now, will he get 30 a game? No, I really don't think so. I think he'll be more like a 10 to 15 point a game player. If he can get more, kudos to him. His three-point shooting is lacking in the NBA so far, but honestly, his confidence, his awareness, his court vision, his basketball IQ, that is what's going to get him these triple-doubles. And I think he will have several at least next season. Put my money on it. The other thing I like to see from him is how many steals he had and how many blocks he had. 5 steals, 2 blocks as a guard. I think his hustle was he was just clicking against the 76ers. I think he got over his terrible debut, and he just shut out all the hate and all the criticism and maybe even his father, and he just went out there and played and did what he can do. Yeah, now, along with his 36, Zubac, center for the Lakers. Yeah, he had 21. Not bad. And also Kuzma, a forward for the Lakers. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. So this team was really just gelling, honestly, against the Sixers. That's how I'd put it. So in the Summer League, they went to the official tournament finally, and round 1 was completed on July 12th. That was yesterday at the time of this podcast being recorded. The Blazers, Pelicans, Heat, Suns, and Kings all moved on. Now, the teams that had a bye for the first round of the tournament were the Raptors, Spurs, Clippers, Grizzlies, and Mavericks. Yeah, all those teams, they won enough games and didn't lose too many, so they got a bye. I know the Clippers are undefeated, not sure about the other ones at the moment. So, after that will be the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. Yeah, the finals will be on the 17th. We'll be sure to cover that, maybe even have another podcast before that game happens. If I had to do a prediction for who's going to be in the finals, honestly, I'm going to go with the Clippers and, let's see. I think the Clippers and the Celtics have the best chance of winning it. I don't know how to predict the finals looking at this bracket, but I think the Clippers or the Celtics have the best chance of winning the whole thing. So, moving right along in this podcast, let's jump right into the ESPY Awards. Yes, the ESPY Awards are, of course, the Excellence in Sports Performance Yearly Awards. Yeah, so skipping all the BS, let's read the winners. All right, Best Male Athlete went to Russell Westbrook. Now this is for all sports basically. It's mostly NBA and NFL, but yeah, Russell Westbrook got Best Male Athlete. Shout out to him. Broke the triple-double record, won MVP. Clearly deserved it over Harden, and now he has basically the highest achievement for the ESPYs on his shelf. He has the trophy. Best female athlete, Simone Biles, gymnastics, that one Olympian chick. Moving on, let's stick with the NBA ones. I'm just reading the list. Kevin Durant, the Snake, won best championship performance. Who cares? It took him joining a 73-9 team to beat LeBron. Moving on. Best team went to the Warriors. Once again, who cares? Best NBA player went to LeBron James. I don't know how many of these ESPYs he has, but I'm sure it's a lot. Is that all the NBA ones? I think that's it. Yeah. Best team, best championship performance, best male athlete, and best NBA player. So there you have it. That is all. So we're going to end this very short version of the Explicit NBA podcast with this announcement. The NBA is having a game in Africa. Yes. Now, back in 2015, they had one of these, and it looks like they're going to have another one. It's going to be on August 5th in Johannesburg. I think I pronounced that right, South Africa. And it's going to be fun. It's more of an exhibition, but there's some guys in there that will be playing hard. Now, the biggest stars that will be in the game are Joel Embiid, The Process, Serge Ibaka. I don't know why he's still a star, quote unquote. Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest Dallas Maverick of all time, and DeMarcus Cousins, the guy who has over $1 million in fines for his career. All right. Now, Luol Deng will, of course, be on Team Africa. I think he's represented Africa in several other events similar to these. And Thabo Sefolosha, who we talked about earlier, is also going to be on Team Africa. Apparently, one of his parents is South African, so that's how he qualifies. Bismack Biyombo will join them. I'll just read the roster. Bismack Biyombo's on there. Clint Capella, Georgie Dang. Already said Embiid. Luka Mbamute from the Clippers will be on there. He is from Cameroon, Africa. Salah Mejri from the Mavericks will be there. Emmanuel Mudiay from the Nuggets, Victor Oladipo now on the Pacers, and Dennis Schroeder from the Hawks. Yeah, so that's a good team. Now here is Team World. This is the team that is basically from anywhere but Africa. The captains will be Dirk Nowitzki and Kemba Walker. Joining them will be Leandro Barbosa from Brazil and the Phoenix Suns, Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, he's just American, Wilson Chandler from the Nuggets, DeMarcus Cousins from the Pelicans, Drummond from the Pistons, Courtney Lee from the Knicks, Kyle Lowry from the Raptors, CJ McCollum from the Blazers, and Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks. I guess I'll do a prediction for this game. Joel Embiid's gonna get 30, but that team will lose to Team World. Yeah. If this was a real game and it wasn't exhibition, I think that Team World would smack them. But it's not going to be the hardest, toughest game. This is pretty much an exhibition game for entertainment purposes and to bring the NBA over to Africa and all of our great fans over there. So look forward to that game once again on August 5th. All right, so that's going to wrap up the podcast today. Just about to hit 20 minutes. Thank y'all for tuning in, of course. And yeah, this is PT signing out.